Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Excessive Pop Culture Discussion, the show that is still called that. This is our unscripted pop culture show where every week we go over the most exciting or interesting headlines from pop culture that have nothing to do with the president or politics. It's a rotating cast, and that's actually true for the first time. We've got, again...
Are we sure? Are we sure?
I'm almost positive. This isn't Soren.
Anyone with eyes can see that I'm not Soren.
Oh, whoa, that's something that Soren would say if he was in disguise.
It is. We have Tom Ryman this week, long Tom Ryman, and Maggie Mae Fish joining us again.
Hello.
We're going to talk about a lot today. We're going to talk about Han Solo, Game of Thrones, Watchmen as a TV show, and Transformers. So let's just get right into this week in headlines. We want to talk about Watchmen and Game of Thrones, but first, my headline this week is that Transformers was bad. I saw the new Transformers movie last night. So far I've only seen the first and now this last one.
Oh, you did see it?
I had
no
interest in seeing any of the Transformers in between. I really enjoyed the first Transformers. And then was
the first ever with Shia LaBeouf?
Yes.
First?
Well,
okay.
the first,
Yeah.
the first one was with Stan Bush. You know,
The-
you got the touch.
we got that.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to see this one, and then in an email thread, Tom mentioned that a plot point of this movie is that they need to get the sword of Merlin, the staff of Merlin, and the sword from King Arthur
What?
to save the Transformers Day because the Transformers were original Knights of the Round Table. And I went to the movie because of that.
Oh, no.
I paid $29 for a ticket to that movie.
I hope you expense that because I feel really terrible. Because I'm not going to give you $30 for that.
I certainly will expense that.
Directly my fault that you saw this film.
So here's something that I learned at this movie is that I don't have your phone number. So I started a thing.
Oh, no.
So this is a note called Things I'd Be Texting Long Tom if I had his number. That wasn't a bit. Merlin is in this movie about robots.
What?
The descriptor in the beginning, like the bottom crawl thing, is England - the Dark Ages. And I laughed because that's like a non-time to set your stupid movie in. Stanley Tucci is Merlin, or I actually wrote, is Stanley Tucci Merlin, and then a series of interrobangs. And then I would have you respond, but you weren't there to do it. In a voiceover, Anthony Hopkins made it clear that aliens invented magic. He was like, magic is real, but it's not Merlin. Merlin's just a drunk.
Okay.
The Transformers just like hand him a magic staff, and they're like, you gotta give this to Arthur.
Just like here.
Okay.
I'm a robot.
You
here.
trust the drunk here?
Tom, long Tom. This is the worst thing I've ever seen, and it's been 6 minutes, and I've been to actual funerals. I can't believe some brain made Sir Anthony Hopkins say Megatron. He says Megatron a lot in this movie.
Ooh.
Anthony Hopkins says Megatron. He's like, oh no, it's Megatron.
I want that as my ringtone. Megatron.
Yeah.
Megatron.
Tony Hale is in this movie.
I did not know that.
Big surprise. Gerard Carmichael is in this movie. The movie has AT-ATs, or not AT-ATs, the ATST chicken walker type things, and a reasonable BB-8 facsimile. I'm at 11 minutes into this movie, by the way.
No.
And it's like 2.5 hours.
Yes, it is 139 minutes.
Michael Bay, like when the movie was about to come out, was like, the reports of the Transformers movies 3 hours long are incorrect. It's much shorter than the last couple of outings. It's like 15 minutes shorter.
Yeah, and it certainly doesn't feel
right.
brief.
And it's a long 2.5 hours.
It's very long.
And there's no robot dinosaurs, so why
There are
bother?
robot dinosaurs.
There is?
Yes.
Then why are you complaining?
There's a lot of other stuff around the robot dinosaurs. At the 11-minute mark, a black kid says, "Damn." Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Mark Wahlberg shows up. Marky Mark just threatened to punch an Indian child in the face really hard.
Michael Bay.
Which would be more fun, ? If actual Mark hadn't previously famously beat the shit out of an elderly minority many years ago.
Oh,
Beat
that is
him
correct.
blind in one eye.
Yes, and then he threatened to punch this little boy.
Right. Well, now he owns a burger joint, so
Wahlburgers.
good guy. Wahlburgers.
It's a solid pun.
Bumblebee has many robots now. I don't know why I wrote that down. John Goodman. Oh, it's because I can't tell almost any of them apart.
I've never been able to. No, it's.
But John Goodman is a robot with a beard and cigar. Would you explain that to me, Long Tom? Long Tom, why beard, why cigar?
I don't know. There's a weird trend in the Transformers movies that I've seen, which is the first one and the third one, of having space robots that have like hair and teeth for some reason.
Ew.
Like there's a clear Doc Brown robot in part 3, and he's got the hair and he's got like glasses and like teeth, and that's just the way like that he like when he transforms into his person form, like he just has like hair and teeth and glasses for no reason.
That's another thing this movie did, is there are just like humanoid robots walking around.
Yeah.
They don't even transform into anything.
that is
I
literally
was
the
reading
whole
their-
point.
Well,
They're no longer robots in disguise. It's like, this is my 4-foot robot butler. His name is Cogman, because you know,
Fucking whatever. I was reading. I was skimming a plot summary of the movie, and apparently, like, the Earth was created by Cybertron.
Yeah.
And using an element called transformium. Mm-hmm. And so that's why their robots are called transformers.
What?
Yeah.
Not because they
this?
transform into things.
it's just the elements. Yeah, that's probably true. I didn't really pay too much attention to this movie because I was really busy texting you.
Yeah, we gotta resolve that when the cameras are.
Going to the bathroom now. I came back and everyone's playing Polo.
The robots?
Marco Polo?
No,
In the
there's
movie theater?
there's British Megan Fox in this movie. She looks like Megan Fox, but she's British, and she is giving a tour of Oxford University. And during it, she says Merlin isn't real, and there are a bunch of dinosaur skeletons all over Oxford. Can anyone confirm that that's a tour of anything?
Where those two things would come up. Done a tour through Oxford University. Here are all our dinosaurs. By the way, Merlin's fake.
Yeah.
Don't get any
So
ideas, you
get
bunch
right
of
the
kids.
f- out if you're talking about Merlin.
They also do Megatron does a Suicide Squad thing with a bunch of dumb f***ing robot names. Like the government hires Megatron to track down Autobots because it's like sort of a dystopic future where like we hate Autobots now, and so Marky Mark has taken over an Indian reservation and is
Hold up, what?
That way he was going
What?
to punch an Indian kid in the face.
where he's letting all of the robots live. All the Autobots are just hanging out with him in this junkyard at an Indian reservation. And the one like solid aware thing that they did, because there's a police chief who is also an Indian chief, and Mark Wahlberg is like, "Come on, chief, just let me bring my robots in there." It's like, "Don't call me that. Aren't you a chief?" "Yeah, but it just seems racist when you say it." I was like, "It does."
You're
right.
It does.
That's
Thank
right.
you for including that in the movie, the racist thing that you said.
Mark Wahlberg is not doing it from a place of respect.
Well, remember that the Transformers series starts like in the first 5 minutes of the first movie. Bernie Mac turns to the camera and shouts "Mammy."
That's right.
So that's like,
God.
that's where
Well,
we're coming
also,
from.
in
in
the
this
second one, I
series.
saw it in IMAX, and the first shot is just that lady's butt. I saw it in IMAX. It was huge. A giant lady's butt.
Glorious 3 dimensions.
I mean, it was a very nice butt, but
Sure.
it was, whoa.
And we have the IMAX technology now. So.
right?
Yeah.
So we
The
can.
detail.
But they hire the government hires Megatron to track down the Autobots, and they have a whole Suicide Squad montage where he names all the dumb fucking robots like Nitro, Zeus, and Mohawk, and Berserker, and I wrote Mean Cockbot or whatever.
Nitro Zeus?
Nitro Zeus was a real one. Nitro Zeus and
That's too
Mohawk.
bad.
And there's another
Mohawk.
one with a dumb name where they're like, no, he's too much of a offensive racial stereotype. The other ones are like on the line.
On the line.
So he lets them do that Suicide Squad thing. And then all those robots die, I think. Tired of this bit. This movie sucks. I'm leaving. I
Did you leave?
I walked out of the movie, yeah.
You didn't even finish it.
I stopped having fun with how bad the movie was.
Yeah, I've
And-
tried to watch the fourth one 2 different times since it's been on streaming, and I cannot get through like the first 5 minutes of it.
And
It's just so.
it's
much.
also, it's called The Last Night, and it seemed like it was supposed to be, there's no more Transformers anymore. But it
Right.
still ends, because I read a synopsis of the last 3.5 hours of the movie. And it still ends with Optimus Prime looking up to the sky, being like, the real war is still to come.
Of course, because
Jesus
of
Christ,
course.
we've had like 12 hours of Transformer movies. When's the real war going to start? Like it's.
Yeah.
Well, they're definitely reaching. They're getting further and further away
Yeah.
into nonsense.
Well,
Yeah.
one thing that I thought was funny about this is that obviously Stanley Tucci is Merlin, and that's funny. But like, Stanley Tucci was in the last one playing not Merlin.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's in Transformers. This is the 5th one. Holy shit!
Oh,
Yeah.
So
I
the last one was the
love
4th
it.
one. Stanley Tucci was in the 4th one as like this billionaire who was like trying to build his own Transformers. Not Merlin, like modern day Tooch, building Transformers. And in this new one, he's Merlin, but they're not like at no point.
It doesn't get addressed, really. It's not, he doesn't, like,
What?
look at the camera and then, like,
He's not like I was.
I
Merlin
look just
this
like my
whole
father.
They just were like, yeah, let's have Stanley Tucci back. Just make him Merlin.
Could they not get anyone else?
Was there no one else in Hollywood that could play Merlin? Sam Neill, he did it before.
Yeah, I mean, Stanley Tucci did a great job. And if you didn't see the 4th Transformer, it's like, Well, gosh, I didn't expect to see this fella popping up here.
And if you did, it's super confusing.
Yeah.
What is going on?
There's also like, I don't know what's happening between Transformers, but they have like, they're like, new ones are being born. Like there's a cute little dinosaur Transformer that is breathing fire. And Mark Wahlberg is like, hey, it's your first fire, buddy, good job. But you can't do it in the house. And then he goes off somewhere else and like squawks his fire out. So I don't know if, is Transformers fucking, Tom?
Sometimes Transformers is fucking.
Well, they have to be. Also, that was a good impression.
Solid Wahlberg.
That was
Oh,
great.
thanks.
Have in your pocket.
Thanks. Let's move on. Maggie, what do you have for us this week?
So HBO has ordered a Watchmen show. And it does not have Zack Snyder attached whatsoever. It also is not going to be connected to the film, which is something that is different. So previously, in 2014, they had something in the works that was going to be directly related to the film. Zack Snyder was going to be on to help the process, but this seems to be like a completely separate venture. So it's exciting. The guy who did The Leftovers is directing.
Lindelof?
Yeah.
The guy who did The Leftovers and Lost.
And Lost.
And
like,
Lost.
You don't get that stripped away. You could be
And also
sexiest
Prometheus.
man of the year next year.
Also
and
Prometheus.
still-
Yeah, also, I don't super.
That has me
I don't
worried.
super trust Lindelof. No.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't super trust him. And also, it's interesting because The Watchmen kind of kicked off that like dark superhero, like, oh, everyone's brooding. It's like not fun to be a hero. No one wants to be the hero that they're being. And I don't know if that's like out of style. It's definitely not working for DC.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that they kicked it off because we had the dark Batman movies before that.
That's
And then
true.
Nolan had already done both Batman Begins and Dark Knight, but man, even the comic books, like when the comic came out, it was still I don't know. It's still like the first like example.
Well, it played into that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's an exploration that has since been utilized by like every other mainstream hero
Right,
now.
right.
Like
Yeah.
Watchmen was like, what if a Batman character was like kind of deranged and shouldn't be Batman? And yeah, Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
shouldn't have been Batman, and that's why he decided at the end, no more Batman.
You know what? I probably shouldn't be
Yeah.
Batman anymore. This is not working
That
for
was
anyone.
a lot. That was a lot of
Yeah,
death.
yeah.
I kind of went over the line there. I don't know.
Still, it seems, at least now, it seems like HBO is desperately scrambling for when Game of Thrones is gone.
Yes.
What is going to be our other very big, very expensive, fantastic ensemble thing that people are going to love for years and years. And this is the kind of world they're going to. And it is a deep one with a lot to explore. I just don't know what we're supposed to be getting out of this because the Zack Snyder one, for all of its many, many faults, it was sort of held up for just how tightly it tried to stick to the source material. It left a lot of stuff out because he only had 3 hours in that movie to put all this stuff in, and there's like literal novels being written inside of the graphic novel.
Yeah.
You can't get
One of the densest comic book or graphic novels ever. Like,
Right.
It's so
There's
dense.
a lot.
But for all the things he did cut, he's still like, I'm going to get a bunch of these iconic scenes in here. I'm going to cover as much of this as I can to appease fans. There's going to be a big blue dong swinging around the whole time.
Oh, yeah, he was. He was.
What a great moment.
So now I
we
don't
should add
know-
one to the wall.
Yeah, can we
Can we get a bit more
hang a
dong?
dong? Can we hang
Please,
Dr. Manhattan
thanks.
dong?
Yeah, and I think that's why they're trying to do something that's because the director, he was like, obviously the Zack Snyder version is the most true to the comic book, so we want to do something different, which is, what does that mean?
Yeah.
It's up in the air. No
Yeah.
details are released. They're not releasing anything, not what it's going to be about, not the characters that are in it. So
It seems like there are a bunch of angry HBO execs batting their heads against the wall that was like, superheroes that are mean to each other and there's nudity. Why haven't we made this show already? What the f***? We're
Right.
HBO.
So
did you
got
say
everything we
nudity?
want.
I heard nudity.
Yeah, gratuitous violence and nudity, and it's superheroes. Come on, we're
Everyone's
HBO.
a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think the Zack Snyder version, honestly, is like the best movie version you can get of that comic. Like, I don't know.
If you're a fan of the comic, that's the best movie. Like,
Yeah.
be clear about that distinction.
yeah.
Like, I don't think my parents cared for it.
No,
My
I
dad
don't think,
loved
I
that
don't
movie.
think your parents are going to care for a miniseries version of it either. Like,
Right.
I don't know if that story is even still relevant anymore. Because part of what made it relevant was, the time when it was written, the 80s, the thing about the doomsday clock. That's why there's the whole point of the story was a duplicitous plot to unite the world to stop nuclear holocaust. It was a Cold War book.
I also, and this is as close to political as we'll get on this show, I forgot a plot point in Watchmen was the president is Nixon. And it's done as like, could you imagine anything worse than this? In fact, I can.
Yes, I can. And also, like, we have that now in Game of Thrones and in Westworld, which is even...
I forgot about Westworld.
Well, that's like a bigger example of an HBO executive being like, what can we do? How about this 70-minute Michael Crichton film from the 70s? We'll turn this into a series.
I'm sorry, is there sex and violence? Is there sex?
There can be.
Is there nudity? Are the robots naked?
You got a bunch of robot cowboys in it. You can do whatever you want. I just don't. It's not groundbreaking anymore. I feel like Watchmen is kind of like tired at this point as far as being like
my feeling.
Like before like the Zack Snyder movie, like lots and lots of comic fans like this is the thing. And now that we saw the movie version of it, and now that we've seen everybody trying to do the dark thing, where it's like, well, because every single main character in Watchmen is both likable and really not likable at the same time. Like even the comedian has his moments where you feel bad that he gets killed right away. And then like Rorschach, who's like everybody's favorite, is a insane militant right wing crazy person. Like super right wing. Like I read that now and I'm like, I kind of don't like him.
He smells like a smelly guy.
Like a smelly dude, and like I mean even like all the characters are like Dr. Manhattan, like Night Owl. They're all like have.
Night Owl's such a complainer. Yeah. I was like, oh, come on, just put him on or don't.
He's spineless.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's just like every character has like it was one of the things like, well, what would it look like for us? What would it do to a real person's psyche to be a superhero? Well, we've seen that so many times now. So it's like I don't think this is the text anymore. Like this isn't like this is the best superhero fiction we can get. I don't think it's Watchmen anymore. I think Watchmen had its time, and now it's time to like move on to something else.
Well, all I could do is guarantee I'm going to watch every episode.
I will watch every single episode.
Absolutely.
As soon as they can release like the first cast thing, and it's like awesome, I'll be like, y'all watch that. Sam Rockwell is Rorschach. I'm like, all right, I'm
taking it. Please.
That's all they need to do is give me like a really sweet.
Just Sam Rockwell.
Cast.
I just need Sam Rockwell.
Right. Yeah,
Sam Rockwell or anything. Tom, do you have any other HBO things you want to talk about? What was your headline this week?
Yeah, new Game of Thrones trailer dropped. As the series comes back in July.
That's soon.
It's finally like an actual amount of time that matters to me.
Wow.
Right, it's like weeks at this point.
Dang.
It's like mid-July, so it's the second to last season. It's pretty exciting. We still don't get too much more than we did from that first trailer.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit more dialogue. We see a couple more characters that I don't think we saw in the previous trailer. Like
we got that. The Hound is definitely doing something.
Yeah, we saw the
there.
Hound. We saw Beric with his fire sword.
Beric Dondarrion with his just clearly in the north.
Sansa looking badass.
Yeah, and
like very in power.
Yeah, and like the last line of she like delivers that line like about like when it's cold, like a lone wolf dies, but like the pack kicks ass.
It looks really cool. If you squint, you can see that Bronn is in it, and I like Bronn, so I'm always happy to see.
Crap, the Tormund.
Tormund Giantsbane is there.
Yeah.
There looks like, and maybe I'm not the right audience for Game of Thrones, but it looks like it's exclusively battles this time around, and like that's what they're leading with.
We were talking about a minute ago, like Optimus Prime's like, now the real war begins. Like it's been even longer in Game of Thrones. We're like, okay, let's
finally.
We finally, Daenerys is finally there, and then we hear Jon Snow talking to somebody about our houses used to be united.
We have to join up
once again.
Who is it? Who could it be?
I mean, I don't know. It could. I mean, I guess it's probably Daenerys, but
I mean, yeah.
But it's still it's a little bit of a bummer for me, and should come as no surprise. Like as someone who's read all the books, if you're gonna sit through 9,000 pages of like, this is what the chicken smelled like, and this is where the wine came from. I'm sort of spinning my wheels until I remember Beric, that was his name. That I don't need a lot of fighting and wars to have fun as a Game of Thrones fan. Like, and I sort of saw the trend coming from even like season 3. You know, we had season 2 was the Battle of Blackwater, and then when the next season is coming out, they're like, get ready, there's an even bigger battle in episode 8 of this season. And they've done that every year now, where it's like, you're just waiting for the battle, and it's like, oh man, they went to Ireland and they filmed for 3 weeks for a 20-minute battle scene. Like,
I don't
20 minutes is a lot of time. I know that Jon's going to win. And I really miss the quiet scenes of Tyrion and Cersei and Tywin, like, scheming, you know? I miss the schemers. I miss Littlefinger and Varys trying to, like, outsmart each other and one-up each other. Yeah. And now it's all fighting.
They're fighting everywhere. They fight in water. They fight with a fire background. They fight in the snow. Just from that preview that we saw.
Clearly unsullied in Casterly Rock, and there's clearly people coming to King's Landing. There's clearly the war in the north. There's clearly the war at sea. And I doubt that's going to be just like, and here's the war episode. And then episode 2 is going to be Tyrion, like, scheming again, which because otherwise I don't know what the Tyrion's doing in this show.
He's just following her, like the payoffs that we want from the show are all character based. Like, they're not with very few exception. Like, I mean, we want to see somebody smoke Cersei.
Yeah.
Probably Jaime. If the prophecy is correct. We want to see the Hound kill the Mountain. Yeah, Zombie Mountain. But other than that, like, it's all character payoff stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we want to see, and we haven't gotten a lot of character stuff.
I want to see Jon Snow smile.
Right?
Just one smile.
That absolutely has to be the reason he got cast. Was it like, this guy looks fucking sad all the time.
Have you seen him?
He's it. Look at him. He's just like getting food at like the table. It's like, he looks like he's gonna cry. And
hey kid, smile. See, he didn't do it.
Jon, are you? Why does it look like it's raining on you all the time? I'm excited about certain pairings that I see that are happening, because it looks like Beric, and by extension, all of the Brotherhood Without Banners, including Clegane, are going to be up north. And I want Jon and Davos and Tormund and Clegane and Firesword. I want them all.
And I also you saw a little bit of Davos in the trailer. So
yeah, I like that group of people hanging out together. I think that's a good mix, because they're all like, we're all like kind of good guys now, right? Yeah.
Are we? Yeah. Yes.
The Hound?
Yeah. I don't know.
Hound, you look pretty beaten up. Who kicked the shit out of you, Hound? Oh, Jon, nobody you'd know. Nobody you'd know, Jon and Sansa. Let's just move right past it. I've been really good recently.
Good.
I helped Ian McShane build part of a church.
Yeah.
It was the best.
I carried a single log and then sat around while everyone died. Literally everyone. But still, as with Watchmen, I'm going to watch it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Watch it.
I'll probably like every episode,
done,
too.
Right,
yeah, and we'll
sit there patiently waiting for the books.
We'll do our Game of Thrones recap show.
Of course, yeah.
You can see that every Tuesday.
We will do all of this again 10 times.
That is the week in headlines. And now it's time to move into our main story of the week. Lord and Miller, the directing team from Lego Movie, 21 Jump Street, Last Man on Earth. They were doing the standalone Han Solo Star Wars movie, and now they're fired. And so my hot take is that this is probably going to be a bad movie.
Bad film, right?
It's
not a great sign.
I was worried that Star Wars was trying to do the Marvel thing. Like, this is very reminiscent of Marvel hires Edgar Wright to make their Ant-Man movie, and it's like, he's an auteur, this is going to be fucking great, I can't wait for whatever he does with this, it's going to be incredible. And now it's just, he just took the script and he made Baby Driver. That was the Ant-Man movie he was going to make.
Yeah.
And I still get to see it, which is good.
Yeah.
But he left that movie because it's clear that, like, no matter what directors they bring in, there is the head of Marvel that is like, this is, you're making a Marvel movie, and this is the blueprint for a Marvel movie, and we'll give you money.
Thou shalt not stray.
Right.
Exactly. It's like a franchise.
Bibles.
It's like every target is designed to look the same no matter where you are.
Right.
So that when you walk in, you know immediately that you're in a target.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with a Marvel movie.
You see that Edgar Wright leaves, and you see that Joss Whedon was like crippled by those Avengers.
So beaten down.
He was just
second one in particular.
Done after Age of Ultron. He's like, I have to just go make my own.
Although maybe that was a good idea. So we never got his Wonder Woman movie. Did you guys read the?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole other thing.
Woo!
But he's writing Batgirl now.
Yeah, I know.
Sweet.
Super nervous.
But yeah, and
So incredibly
I am
nervous.
not anticipating.
but it looks like Star Wars is now doing the same thing, where
Oh
they'll
yeah,
get
they've been.
exciting directors on, and then I guess just push them into the mold of what they want done.
Disney.
Which it's not the most exciting thing in the world. Like I was really amped on Lord and Miller because they're the directors that got put on things that seemed like really stupid ideas. Like,
Yeah.
they're making a 21 Jump Street movie. Who's that for? It's not going to be good. I love that movie.
It's for us.
And it's great.
It's really good.
Everybody's tried to imitate it, and
Yeah.
nobody's been
Yeah.
successful. And it's the same thing with the Lego movie. It's like, this is a nothing idea, just it's a brand, and they turned it into a movie that everybody likes. And now
So fun. Really enjoyed it. And,
everybody's copying that. We got like, Emoji and
Right.
Angry Birds.
and Last Man on Earth, that show, the Will Forte show, was like, how do you sustain this as a show? This isn't going to be anything. And then I watched the first episode. I'm like,
That's how.
Dan, how many times are you going to doubt these guys? They clearly have like a path that they're doing.
What do they have to do for you to be like, I trust those guys?
Maybe make a Han Solo movie. Oops.
Yep. And they honestly, and it wasn't like a scheduling thing. It was really like the studio didn't think they had the right idea for a Han Solo movie, and that tells me that we just lost a really great Han Solo movie, and now we're gonna get a mediocre one.
Yeah, I heard two reasons. Well, one of them I heard was, obviously because they wanted to make more of a comedy, and the studio was like, no, you don't understand. Like Han Solo is like sarcastic and like dark, which I don't know. And then I also
Star Wars is goofy bullshit for children.
It is. And then also I heard that they were letting their actors improvise too much on set and going off script, which would make, a studio exec pretty angry if they were going off the, well-curated script that they approved.
Right.
Yeah, let's definitely hire Donald Glover and not let him improv.
Exactly.
That's a sound move.
Well, and then those filmmakers, Lord Miller specifically, like there's a lot of off-the-page stuff, and at least in 21 Jump Street. So it's
And it made the movie better.
right, like it all. It's like it can get out of control, but like.
But if they're good directors, it won't,
right.
and it wouldn't, and I'm sure it wasn't.
And now we've got stepping into the helm is Ron Howard.
The dinosaur,
What do
old
we think
man.
about that?
Ron Howard.
I think Ron Howard hasn't made a good film in a very long time.
I think he's always made like competent films. Like he's a guy that you can go to and like this. If you have source material that's really good and you want someone to execute it really well without any
Without
like personal
any,
directorial flair,
right,
Yeah.
without any like
To it.
vision or anything. I think he's like. He's never had. I don't think he's ever had anything remarkable about him. I don't think Ron Howard is a guy with like a specific vision. He's like a Tony Scott or like a Richard Donner or like a John Frankenheimer, where it's just like, yeah, that's.
I don't know any of those people.
It's basically just like we'll hire this person because they can get the job done.
Yeah.
They'll go in there and they'll make
point.
a competent movie. There'll be nothing special about it. They will
Right.
just complete the movie.
and they're almost always entertaining. Like
Yeah.
Beautiful Mind, I really enjoyed. Most of his movies are just like this is a good movie to watch with your family.
Yeah, Apollo 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I think
Willow.
pairing him with
I mean, I agree with you.
All right, thank you. Dan.
the pairing of Ron Howard and the Davinci Code is like the most sensical thing I've ever heard. It was like
Right,
the
'cause-
Davinci Code with that like really mediocre middle of the road thing that everyone in America was nuts over. It was like a very exciting thing that
Why
united
did
us
we
for
like
a
it
while,
so
I guess.
much? I read
don't
all
know.
the books.
It had all the hallmarks of like thriller stuff. Like it's Dan Brown writing, so the chapters are 2.5 pages long, and they end with and then Robert Langdon exploded with curiosity. Ah, you got me again. Now I'm in this chapter, and it's so short. I'll just keep going.
So short.
And it made a lot of people. It turned a lot of people into overnight armchair theologians, and everyone got to feel a little bit smarter at a party because they could sort of drop art references that weren't totally right. But it just
And
made everyone
theology that
seem
was not correct.
Yeah.
like they're learning something while reading like a
breezy airport fiction. Yeah.
high school level.
And Ron Howard's a perfect perfect director to make a movie out of that, because it's like, this is just a movie for your parents
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah.
And he also added He did 3 Da Vinci Code movies.
Yeah, he did all of them.
Wow, that's the biggest surprise.
Added nothing. Didn't do anything that was like, I want to do this because it speaks to me. He was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it so it looks like it does in your head when you're reading the book. I'm going to perfectly execute this thing that you handed me. And that seems like the exact right fit for Star Wars right now, where they're like, Lord and Miller were going off the reins, doing their own thing with our Han Solo movie, and Ron Howard was just like, I'm your Huckleberry. I'll do whatever the fuck you tell me. It's fine.
I'll do exactly what you want. What do you want?
Why does Ron Howard talk like that?
What's that?
You got to do
Is Ron Howard a prospector?
I mean,
Well, I'll make the movie.
compared
This
to
is just how I
those guys.
sound in Arrested Development when I narrate.
I just think Han Solo movie was bad conceptually from the
Yeah.
get-go. Like,
Yeah.
I really feel like the Star Wars franchise is not going to be a thing in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because Disney is just taking the model from Marvel and just putting it to Star Wars, and they're not the same thing at all. Like, Marvel's got, millions of pages of source material. It's got, decades of fandom, and it's got a lot of stuff. Like, we feel like we're like oversaturated with superhero films right now, but there is so much, many popular characters that we've never seen in a movie yet. Star Wars is just those 3 movies.
Yeah.
There's a whole Spider-Man run for a while where everyone in New York is a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
or
It's
Spider
incredible.
Island.
Yeah, Spider Island.
Spider Island's
Spider
great.
Island.
The Spider-Verse, amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I would see all of those movies. But for Star Wars, it's just those 3 movies that we had. And part of what made Star Wars special, I think, for people was the fact that we just had those 3 movies for a long time. And so when we finally got another one, it was telling the logical prequel story, which is like, which they hint at in the movies, like the Clone Wars and the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan and their fight or whatever. So it was like people were stoked to see that because those were the gaps in the original 3 movies that we were all like, oh, it'd be great to see those in a movie. So that's why, even though the prequels are not great, they're at least telling a story that we wanted to see, maybe not the way we wanted to see it.
Right, you want to know
That's a
how
good
does
point.
Anakin go bad.
Yeah.
Right.
It's real dumb.
And for all of his faults in making those movies, George Lucas did not just repeat the first 3 movies.
Yeah.
And when Disney got this property, they're just making the safe movie.
Yeah.
Like, they're just giving us the look and feel of nostalgia without any of the stuff
actual
that we liked
substantive.
about it, and they're not exploring the universe, because it's like, you'd think of Star Wars if they're if they really wanted to make it like an expanded film universe. It's like, well, there's more fucking families in the universe of Star Wars than the Skywalkers and the Solos. Like, you can make a movie about some dumb shit on like the other side of Tatooine or some planet we haven't heard of or something.
And like, I've never thought, watching the movies, I never thought like, oh gee, how did Han Solo get so jaded? That's never like a thing that I wondered about.
So what we get is the first 3 movies on their slate of being like the Star Wars universe. You're going to get 1 a year for the rest of forever. We're like, oh,
like a shot.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like a flu shot. So the first one we get is J.J. Abrams just remaking A New Hope, and we're like, well, all right,
Fine.
Yeah, all right.
fine.
I liked it.
I hated it. And then they
Didn't
give
love
us Rogue One, which
I
is
liked
like,
Rogue One.
you did?
You did not.
Hated it.
it's like, it's well, we're going to show you the prequel to The New Hope, and it's, what? Like,
I like that everyone dies. I don't know.
spoiler,
I
but it's
really
like,
do. Mortal.
and then now there's like, now you're going to see Han Solo's origin story, and it's like,
I don't care.
Well, we saw
Yeah.
Han Solo's origin story. It's
I
in A
had-
New Hope. But
No questions when he showed up.
yeah, it's
It was like, my
zero.
job is smuggler, and I'm kind of a piece of shit. I'm like,
Very
I went
good.
to
I
high
get
school with
this.
guys like you.
Right.
Yeah.
His character, we know everything we needed, and that's one of the bummers about the whole Han shooting first thing, is that first scene is like, we know everything we need to know about Han
This
Solo.
is who he is, yeah.
Right.
And I didn't leave Star Wars thinking like, yeah, A New Hope was good, but where did Chewie get that crossbow? How about? When am I going to get that answer?
Has he always been carrying that cross? Was it a gift? Like,
Is that your Ron Howard?
yeah. Ron Howard's asking all these. He's going to answer all these questions in his Han Solo movie.
Good.
But it's like, don't you want to see Han Solo as a young man? I'm like, he's fucking 26 in A New Hope.
Yeah, he's a young man.
Yeah, he's not, I mean, he's...
Like, don't you want to know how Han and Chewie met? I don't know, in fucking space somewhere, doing crimes, I bet.
Yeah, they probably just teamed up on a crime, and then they're like, we're really good at crimes together. We should continue
do crimes.
We should continue this partnership.
By the way, here's a crossbow. And then, no.
That's how they
That's the first 5 minutes of the movie.
And the other baffling thing, well, one of many, is when they were hyping up, like, you're gonna find out like how Han Solo became like this jaded smuggler, and you're gonna find out how he got his name.
Okay.
All right.
I assumed his parents gave him the name. Like, what?
I'd always
that
assume
was
that
never a...
Like, none of us remember. The Star Wars is a universe of the dumbest fucking names anyone's ever had.
I assumed he got his name because George Lucas wanted to subtly imply that he was a loner.
Right.
Oh,
And
We're
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No.
Because Han kind of sounds like one.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Solo's still a bit of a mystery for me. We should, at this point, check in with our past selves who are mad at us for complaining about Game of Thrones, Watchmen, and Star Wars.
Oh, boy. Oh, man.
Just for poor 13-year-old me to hear that there's just too many Star Wars movies and too many superheroes.
Watchmen's going to be... I think it's going to be... I'm actually excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Even if it's not the right time and not the right... Maybe it's not going to hit a bunch of chords, but I'm still going to watch it. And
Right,
really
yeah,
do
it'll
like
be
the
interesting to see.
story.
I mean, I know when they were first pitching it, like a mini-series was one of the first ideas that they had for turning Watchmen into a... So maybe a series would be a good idea. I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it.
That it won't be. That's the main story. Let's get into questions. You guys haven't seen these
Oh.
How do you know?
because they were sent directly to me.
Oh, right, fine.
At Garden J3 says, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. What does it mean? That was another headline that came out this week. This is breaking news that Jurassic World sequel has a title, and it is Fallen Kingdom. And the poster, it's a Jurassic World poster, and it said "Life finds a way," I believe is the tagline. So just let us know.
Let us know.
Goldblum's going to be in it. Yeah,
He super is.
Yeah, he's super is.
I didn't love Jurassic World. I don't imagine I'm going to love this one. Fallen Kingdom sounds like a stupid...
It's a bad
subtitle.
subtitle. I get what they're referring to, but it's like, we don't need that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a weird aversion to just using numbers in your sequels now, which I don't understand. Like
we did that for
It
so
goes
long,
in
and it
and
was
out.
fine.
It goes in and out of like style, out of style.
Yeah, and it's like, so for instance, the Transformers movies, they're all subtitled, so I can't keep track of which one is part 3 or it's like I don't.
Maybe it's on purpose, so you don't know that Stanley Tucci was casted twice.
Trying to throw you off the scent of how old everyone's supposed to be.
You'll never know.
Cover up these Tooch tracks.
There's an amazing... I'm really curious about what this movie is going to be like because Colin Trevorrow, the writer-director, did Safety Not Guaranteed, a very small movie. That was very good. And then Hollywood was like, we're going to give you Jurassic World and a Star Wars. There you go. You have those now. And he made Jurassic World. It made lots of money. His movie that came out between Jurassic Worlds is The Book of Henry. That's out right now. And that movie is fucking bonkers. It's about this genius kid who is at a school, not for geniuses. He's just like the smartest, and he helps his mom do her taxes and everything like that, and he takes care of his brother. He's got a beautiful girl next door, and he finds out that she's being molested by her father, Hank from Breaking Bad. And she goes to the principal, and she's like, this is happening. And the principal's like, I know, I've seen her come to school with bruises, and she seems really like abused, but we can't do anything without proof. So Henry's trying to get proof, and then he calls Dyfus or something, and the Dyfus agent is the brother of Hank from Breaking Bad. So he's like, I don't think there's any crimes here. Bye. And then he's telling his mom, Naomi Watts, about all this stuff that's going on and how they got to go to the police, and that doesn't work, so they got to take the matters into their own hands. And then he has a brain tumor and dies.
What?
What the fuck is this movie?
And then his mom has the Book of Henry, where he's written down, like he anticipated all this because he's so smart. So he's like, here, Mom, here's what you got to do. You got to buy a sniper rifle, and you got to shoot Hank from Breaking Bad while he's walking across this bridge on this day. And it's like her and her other son, who's a little boy from Room, going around following the instructions from this book to try to kill Hank from Breaking Bad.
Is that why it's called The Book of Henry? To try to kill Hank? That is... Wow.
That's the movie. You make Jurassic World, it makes all the money on the planet, and they're like, okay, now what do you really want to make?
That.
Little boy gets tumor.
Yeah.
Kill Hank from Breaking Bad.
I did read. I I know about that movie because I just read an article that was like the upward failing of college.
Yeah, he just keeps.
That
is a disastrous idea for a movie for so many reasons.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I think at the end she decides not to kill him though.
It's like Death Wish with a kid with a brain tumor.
Yep. J times J asks, is the Netflix model for TV shows, release all episodes at once, a good idea, or does it hurt the show's cultural relevance? I think that's a very good question.
Oh, man.
That is a good question.
It seems like a good thing because everyone in the world was talking about Stranger Things at the exact same time. And then and there was like no fanfare lead up to that. And now Stranger Things has promotional spots in the Super Bowl. So it seems like
and then
good.
House of Cards and Orange is the New Black.
It's hard to not call them culturally relevant.
Kimmy Schmidt, like every time they drop a new season, there's a big. I will say that there is like a spike, and then you don't hear anything else about it until the next season comes out. But it feels like they're always like there in the conversation.
Yeah,
they're just not like everybody's not like talking about it at the same time.
Right. Well, it hurts the national conversation part. It hurts the water cooler part, and I don't know if this is going to be one of those things that outs me as an old person. You know, like kids might not care, or kids. 20-year-olds might not care about, every Monday we talk about Game of Thrones, every Friday we talk about Seinfeld and Friends. Like, that might just not be important to people. That might not be how they prefer to consume things anymore.
Particularly if you're not running a network that's dependent on ads, I don't think it matters anymore. Yeah. Because you don't need to have people coming back and watching an hour
every
with
time.
ads. And if you're a subscription model, it doesn't matter.
Although the last... I always compare it to like the last one that I watched live on TV was Lost. And like that years-long agony of just not knowing anything going from week to week. So much of my life I gave to that show. But like, I mean, but now I can look back and remember all that time I spent with like Lost. Whereas like I watched Luke Cage in like a day. Yeah. And I can't really remember anything that I did.
I forget all the details of it.
Yeah.
It's all very strange, and like this is another like old man thing, or the world is moving too fast for me, but it was part of my family conversation too. Like it's probably not the healthiest thing that like we didn't have dinner together every night, but like, oh, The Simpsons are on, so we watch The Simpsons and X-Files together, and we're a family and we talk about it. And that is a thing that seems like it's going away because like I don't want to watch. Texted my dad. I was like, hey, did you know that Orange is the New Black new season came out? And he was like, yeah, your mother and I binged it last week. I don't want to watch 10 straight hours of television with my family. I'm never going to want to do that.
No, that's never going to be a thing. I will say that now, because of the all-at-once release strategy of streaming, I get annoyed at shows that have like more than like a certain number of episodes. like I was super happy with Stranger Things. It was like 8. I was like, cool.
That's a Saturday.
Like I can do that in a day. When it gets to like 10, I'm like, eh. And then with like the Marvel shows where it's 13, I'm like, you.
I gotta watch some of this Sunday morning now.
Well, I guess all right. Let me schedule it in.
I get irritated when I can't fit it all in one day because I cannot bear that feeling that these shows used to depend on, like Lost, where it's like, oh, how are we gonna make it to next week? So it's like it's super hard for me to watch like Game of Thrones and Westworld as it's released, but I have to because of this job.
I think it's healthier. I like it. I think it's healthier. I think it's good,
I think both are.
I've done no research on what is good for the body or mind. Ken Stashnik says, when are we going to get a good werewolf movie? What is your favorite werewolf movie?
Oh.
American Werewolf in London, probably.
Yeah.
That or Dog Soldiers.
Okay. That?
Dog Soldiers is a movie made by the director, I forget his name, but he's gone on to direct, I think, a few episodes of Game of Thrones, and a lot of his movies had Davos in them, including Dog Soldiers. So I think that's how one of them paved the way for the other to get on Game of Thrones. But it's a really good horror movie from the mid-2000s with a lot of solid practical werewolf effects in it. It's just a good movie.
I liked Wolf. Wolf really f***ed me up as a kid. I was really scared of James Spader Wolf. I closed my eyes and I saw him and I got really scared. Because he got those crazy eyes in it.
He did. He did.
I think the only wolf movie I have seen is Twilight. So.
Was it a good wolf movie?
Your favorite?
I was definitely Team Jacob throughout the whole thing. So
that means nothing to me.
Wolf Cop. You got to watch Wolf Cop.
I'm not gonna do that.
In the transformation scene, he transforms into a werewolf dick first.
Oh, okay. I'm
Amazing. Watching it
must watch that.
immediately after this. That's what should have been in Twilight.
Yeah. Sorry.
The reason I bring this up is when are we going to get a good werewolf movie, I think is a solid question, because it's something that we haven't really been able to...
No.
Like a solid mainstream werewolf movie. I don't know if that's still too dumb for all of us. Or like there's not a sexy spin to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just kind of have to do it unironically as what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can kind of do maybe like a Howling where it's kind of like silly, or American Werewolf in London where it's also there's some silliness to it, but it's still kind of dark. But like that Wolfman remake that they made a few years ago, it was Joe Johnston directed it,
Benicio and
Anthony Hopkins. It had all the makings of being like a good movie. It's like period piece, so it's set in like a really cool looking time, and the werewolf effects were all cool, but it just never comes together, and it's just bad.
Yeah.
I remember like even before I moved out here to Hollyweird and became a big shot LA insider, before I knew anything about how anything worked, reading Entertainment Weekly articles where they were like, Werewolf is going to get, the release is going to be pushed about 11 months. And I was like, oh, they're in trouble. They're circling the drain.
Even me, the layman, knows that is not good.
I'm a child and I've never been on a plane, but this movie is sinking.
That movie sounds like it's in real trouble.
It's hard to make hair sexy. It's just a big hairy man. Is my take on werewolves.
I think it's very easy to make hair sexy. It's been in movies all the time.
Like hirsute men?
Dan.
Bald is insane.
Oh, bald. Well.
All right, okay.
Almost like a bold claim. Apex Penguin wonders how come people don't talk about Gotham as much as they should. That show is amazing. That show is stupid. Your case is wrong. It's bad. Thoughts, guys?
I have not seen a second of Gotham.
I won't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
The only thing I know of Gotham is...
Yeah, we don't have too much time to get into it. We're going to close out here. I just want everyone to know that in the season finale of Gotham this time, the subtitle of this season was Heroes Rise. Jim Gordon took poison that gave him monster face and murdered like 100 people with a sword, and baby boy Bruce Wayne shoved a sword through Alfred's heart, killing him on purpose.
So Alfred's dead?
He brought him back with Lazarus Pit.
What?
Huh.
I'm sorry. And this is
I said we're out of time.
Oh, right, okay.
Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Maggie, where can they find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Maggie May Fish, my name. Mm-hmm.
Tom, where can they find you?
At Start the Machine, all one word.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I am at DOB_INC. Thanks for watching. We'll be here sometime next week. Probably Maggie again and some other guy.
Some other guy.
Thanks.
And it's been Soren the whole time.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching EPCD. Make sure you click the big C in the middle to subscribe, or watch either of the videos next to me to see more funny videos. Click the dumb fucking YouTube bell so you'll get notifications whenever we release a new video. There's also a forum thread in our forums where we're talking about the show, and people are leaving a lot of recommendations for things we should check out, and we go through them. So add things that you think we'd like based on the conversations we have.